Hi, Fashion Dolls. Welcome back. It is Motivation Monday, January 27th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is an actor. He's a dad, and not only just that, but he is a businessman. And I'm super excited to welcome him here in the dollhouse with me today, kicking off this week, closing up the month of January as we head into the month of February, which is Black History Month. So, we're waiting on our very special guest to get here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm loving this new hair color. I'm loving the peekaboo highlights. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I told you guys that it would be so many changes to this season, season 19. So let me go ahead and share this live with Demetrius so that I can get him in here and we can get this show started. All right. So, it's been a lot that's been going on, a lot of things that's been going on in the world, but I totally have been enjoying this year. 2025 has been an amazing year thus far, and I hope you guys all too have been enjoying it as well. So give me one sec. Let me see where he is because I just sent him the live. So we're waiting on him to come on. All right, there we are. Let me add him. Give me one sec, Fashion Dolls. Let me.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm good. Let me adjust this. Just a second. All right. Sorry I was a little late.
No, you are good. You are good. It is perfect timing. Welcome to the dollhouse. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Is this too high? Hold on. I had it adjusted earlier. It's interesting how these things work.
Take your time while you get that together. Audience, for those of you who are just joining, I am Miss Stevie. I'm the hostess and creator of Style by Stevie, which is a fashion, beauty, and entertainment platform. And as a Black woman, I made it my business and my privilege to give Black faces, Black talents a voice, a platform where they can feel included more than ever. And you guys know that I'm all about supporting Black owned brands, Black owned businesses, Black owned everything. For those of you who do not know if you needed an introduction. So before we get into this interview, how has 2025 been for you so
Uh,
far?
all over the place. It's all over the place
For
like
all of us.
like
For
everybody
all of us.
else. Yeah, we didn't went from like my friends fire in LA to snow in Houston, so it's a lot going on right now. So
It is.
it's almost like a daily roller coaster, but it's been pretty good. I'm healthy, the family's healthy, everybody's doing good. So as long as it's that, I'm good with it.
And that's all that matters. That's all we can pray for is good health and prosperity in the year of 2025.
Yes,
And to anybody out there affected in Los Angeles, again, I send my heart. And there are so many ways and resources that we can help. And I'll be glad to provide those if you guys keep checking my stories. So much up there. So make sure you guys keep following. We keep you posted. But I like to start at the beginning of everyone's journey. Now, you are a Houston, Texas native. You were born and raised in Houston, Texas. So tell us at the beginning, what was it like for you growing up? How many siblings?
I
And
have.
yeah,
So I grew up in the Houston area. I have one sibling, a younger brother, approximately 3 years younger than me. Growing up in Houston, actually migrating from Louisiana over to Houston. Uh, Pretty much I didn't know a lot about Houston until I was almost 18 years old.
wow.
Uh yeah, I didn't venture a lot of places. See, my parents moving from Louisiana over to the Houston area, they pretty much did the exact same thing they did in Louisiana. So when we living here, we didn't go anywhere, we didn't do much. Like there was just like around the area, around the neighborhood of where I lived. So I didn't really start venturing out and learning Houston, like I said, until I was almost 18 years old. So then I started to like really realize, like wow, I live in a big city. Prior to that, I just knew my neighborhood. So that's as far as it went.
and you have since then excelled. You are a graduate of Texas Southern University, TSU. You know, I'm all about supporting historically Black colleges and universities. So,
Thank
what
you.
was it like attending TSU?
Hey, I went. So I went to HISD. After leaving HISD, I ended up attending Texas Southern. And again, I'm around that 18, 19-year-old age where I'm just experiencing Houston, remember? So my mind like exploded because prior to that, I hate to say this, but like a lot of things dealing with collegiate and education was not implemented in my family. It was not told to me. So I kind of had to experience it on my own. And once I got uh, a whiff of it, it's like my mind like was blown. Like I only college uh, visuals I had was like School Days from Spike Lee. And I didn't know much about it, but when I actually attended Texas Southern, I'm like, whoa, I kind of like this. And it was cool because a lot of the most of the kids that went to all the high schools around the area of Houston, we all migrated to Texas Southern. It was really great, especially in the 90s when TSU was the #1 Black university in the nation. In population. I think TSU at one time had almost 12,000 students, maybe something like that. Yeah, so it was really going. I mean, so it was a great experience. A really really great experience. Met a lot of friends there, and it was awesome.
And since then, a lot of black teenagers, black kids are taking up college in higher numbers than ever, and universities and investing into their education. Now, it's said that screen acting has always been a passion for you. So, at what age did you discover the passion for acting, and who was it that you saw just watching television or wherever where you said,
So
"Okay, this is something"?
I will like to say this
Okay.
on my IMDb. I do have that as my motto because more people will look at your IMDb and actually say, okay, well, we're going to take him seriously because he actually is always had a passion for acting. But I'm going to be honest with
Right.
you, 100% honest. This is a great interview, so I'm going to let you know. I never thought that I would be an actor in life.
Really?
So I can't put that on my IMDb. I can't say, oh, this just happened because then people are going to be like, okay, like, wow, is he just playing around with us? They'll never take you serious. So in all
Right.
honesty, the whole acting thing started from a Facebook post that I saw back in 2019, of a local movie that they were doing. And at the time, I was dating a young lady who we said, you know what, let's just go and check out and see what's going on. So we ended up going to this particular, we ended up going, and then when we got there, they gave us lines and so on and so forth. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then again, the pandemic happened and sidelined everything. Everybody went their separate ways. So I never really looked into it again. I was like, oh, well, it was a one-off type of thing. Just something I did. It was, cool. But I never pursued it. But there was a lady who actually uh, I met while I was filming this particular movie. She, in return, after the pandemic and everything started taking off again, she started reaching out to me and sending me all these different casting roles, which in all honesty, I thought she was like, I said, man, this lady's stalking me. Something's wrong with her. Like, I really didn't take it serious. I was like, nah, something's off. Like, because no one is that persistent to try to help another person. Not these days. So when that happened, I would get on set, and then a lot of the people, I just was getting there. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm just gonna see where it
Oh,
goes.
yeah.
But it was weird because every time I would get on set, they would like gravitate toward me, start liking me. They would give me like great positions for the camera, and then they started giving me lines, and then everything kind of like started escalating. So I was like, wow, this is cool. Which is funny because when I would work a regular job, right, I could never do no right. I could get to work early. I can like stay late. I can do all these things in order to try to make myself, like, okay, I want to see where it's going to go. But I can never get any positive energy from these jobs I would work. And I was like, man, something's off. But every time I got on set near the camera or near people who were filming, everything just started to just feel right. So
Yeah.
I say that to say this. God works in mysterious ways. It's where your destiny is actually supposed to be. Because like I said, I could show up at work at 5 in the morning, go to my because I was school teaching at the time. I was a school teacher, so I was like, go to my classrooms, get there early, stay late, do everything under the sun. I could never do right. No matter what I did, I could never do right. But now that I've transitioned into this field, it's like I can't do wrong, which I'm not trying to do, but it's just so I know deep down inside, God has a big plan for me. So all blessings to blessings. It's just one of those things that just kind of it's happening. It's kind of like just getting bigger, bigger, bigger. I never ever. So I would like to go back to my IMDb and kind of change it, but I mean that for the people in Hollywood and the people who actually see it, if I say, hey, I never expected this to happen on my IMDb, come on, it would be like. So yeah, it is definitely a blessing. I've been able to meet a lot of celebrities and do a lot of traveling, and yeah, it's been fantastic. Great, never expected it. I went through a lot of personal stuff, so God works in mysterious ways. So.
And since then, through all of the trials and tribulations you've been through, you've been featured in runway shows, you've been in print ads. I've seen you everywhere since then. But I want to go back through the obstacles. How did you overcome those obstacles to get where you're at this point in your life? Say,
I will
okay,
say
because
this.
not only do you model and act, you're also a dad as well too. And we touched on this last week about balance and finding balance with
Correct.
everything. Because being in this business, as you've mentioned, even with the pandemic going on, it was difficult for a
Right.
lot of us back in 2020 to
Right.
keep in touch with our family members, our loved ones, because everything was shut down. Even if you were on set,
Yes.
you had to stay on set. And then if were going back to visit, you had to stay in a separate room in the house or
Right.
whatever. You couldn't go near the children. So, I mean, it was crazy. So for you, how did you overcome those
I've
obstacles?
always been a level-headed person. I've always looked at when things happen, there's something coming behind it. As a kid, I would see certain situations, and then God has always gave me the insight to see that, okay, well, there's a reason behind everything. So when I was going through my trials and tribulations, I just knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel. I just said, I'm going to use this negative situation and channel it into something positive in my life and my kids' life. It
Yeah.
didn't happen overnight. It took a while because there was a lot of ups and downs and a lot of things I had to deal with. But I just knew there was light at the end of the tunnel. Now I will tell you this: I did not know it would be this, but I knew it was something. It was deep down in my heart. I knew something was going to come from all the roller coaster rides I was taking. I just said there's got to be something because there's no way possible for this to continue and that just be the end of the story. Like it's got to be something behind this. So uh, I just continued to pray, stay focused, and stay positive as as I could be, because there was a lot of negativity. And I mean, shout out. I hate to say this. I don't like to look back, but shout out to everybody who went out of their way to try to like do harm to me and my family for some reason or another. It's like I don't know why they wanted to do it. I don't know. Maybe they sensed the exact same thing that like I was sensing. Like I knew there was something, and maybe they sensed it too, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try to stop it." But I mean, you can't stop what's ordained for you, so be it. But yeah, I went through a lot. I had to stay focused and stay prayed up, and like I said, it didn't happen overnight, but I now know that yeah, this is actually turning into something that is actually gonna go somewhere. I like again. It's sometimes I'm just kind of still stunned by it. It's kind of
What
like
should
I'm.
you?
It's like sorry, I don't mean. It's kind of like I'm slowly winning the lottery. you know you
It's
know you
all
play
coming to. Listen, it's all coming together
right,
for you. It's all coming together.
right.
Because, like I said, I've seen you everywhere. You were featured in magazines. You've done print, runway. You were
Yes,
featured
yes.
everywhere. And it's all going to come to fruition for you if you just, like you said, and my mother told me the same exact thing. I'm a firm believer that if you put God first in everything that you do, even when I started this platform, I'm 31 now.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
yes, I'm
Blessings.
telling my age. It was
Cool.
like, how does she have so much wisdom at this age? Because my mother's a Libra woman, and she's raised all of us, because I have 4 brothers and I have 2 sisters.
Okay.
She's raised all of us to have our own personality and to go after whatever it is that sets our soul on fire and that makes us feel good.
All right. There we
And
go.
so through all of the obstacles, never giving up is one thing that she put into each and every one of us. Now, if you take a break, yeah, you can take a break, but
Correct.
never give up. So, my next question for you is, what is the best decision you've ever made in your life? And also, where would you be if you hadn't followed your dreams? Because I talk a lot about living life through fire. And what I mean by that is if you have a passion, go for it.
Uh, I've had a couple of best decisions, and it all deals with an instinct, like a sixth sense. Like I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people, but sometimes you just know. Sometimes in situations you just know I shouldn't do this. I should do that.
Intuition.
Right. So I've had a pretty good blessing in dealing with my intuition and actually channeling it into something positive. Uh, so yes, that I would say just like I said, that would be my best decision. Like there's been multiple because there's been situations where I was like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. Uh, I grew up in a neighborhood. Everybody was kind of like lower middle class kind of situation.
Yeah.
No one was rich. Drugs. This is in the '80s when there was a lot of crack and drugs was prevalent, and it just all. I always looked at it. I was like, wow, everybody who's selling drugs, they just for what they want, like some tennis shoes or jackets or painting their car. I'm like, you can just get a job and get that and not have
Correct.
to worry about your life being. So decisions like that, that's what I'm saying. So multiple decisions like that. Going to college was another one. Uh, Going to college, just staying as focused as I could on the task at hand. So there was, like I said, there was multiple. It just wasn't one decision that kind of led to this. It was multiple because there was times, like I said, in my dark times and times that I went through a lot of like turmoil. Uh, I could have got off the beaten path and said, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start doing this. So it was just like, no, you're gonna stay focused, make it through the night, see what happens, and then the next day, nothing physically happens. Like it's not like you just check your bank account. Oh, you're paid now. Nothing like that. But you just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So yes.
Absolutely. What color are you in mood and in feeling? I know for me, the color that I am feeling, because last season, season 18, it was purple and blue. This season, everything is all silver. I like silver. Silver is platinum for me. I think
My
of
favorite
disco.
color is blue. I love blue. One of my the best things I love is to wake up and look at the sky. I just think
Yeah.
that's a blessing in itself. Like you're able to wake up and just be alive. Like we take those little things for granted. Uh, Sometimes I drive around and I realize like I'm not trying to get preachy, but I'm just like we're on a we're on a spinning ball floating through space.
Yeah.
Like there's so much, uh, so I'm just thankful that we're able to, because not everything's guaranteed. And so just the rat race that I see on a daily basis of everybody like going crazy, losing their mind to get to the next level in life and this, that, and the third. I just wake up just to say, okay, look, wow, the sky's blue. I'm up, and let's see what we can make from the day. And that's pretty much it. Like that's how I kind of like and love. Like so, blue would be. I know I don't went around circling the conversation, but blue.
Oh, you're adding input, and that's a great input because when I think of blue, I think of the sky, I think of the earth as well too. Because when we see that globe, it's blue and green. We see those little parts
Right,
of other parts of the world on that globe whenever you spin it. So
right.
you're absolutely correct, and that's something that we have to take into hesitation. So I asked that question for a reason because we all have feelings of things we want to go back and critique in our career. Do you have any regrets in your career, just from anything, any decisions you've
Uh,
made, any regrets?
I wish sometime I wouldn't have let my feelings get involved with people.
Mm,
Because I want people to be like me. I feel like as if like the way I am, I expect everybody to be like that. So sometimes that can cause me to have uh, some issues because I'm expecting people to love and live like I would, but they're not like that. So I've had situations where perhaps you know what I could have started this earlier in my life, but again, maybe if that had happened, I wasn't mature enough to handle it like I am now. So everything works, and I am thankful that God has blessed me that I'm still able to compete with some of the younger people in film and television that are actually way younger than me. They're still, fit. I'm still able to maintain a certain level of fitness where I'm still like getting accepted on these roles and stuff. So hey, I look at it like, okay, well, maybe if it had happened earlier in my life, then I probably would have self-destructed. So I just think I had to go through a lot. It's like, it's like steel, like you have to forge it in fire. So I had to go
mm,
through all those trials and tribulations in my life in order for me to come out and be this person now. Because in all honesty, um, I hear a lot of things that people talk about on a daily basis when they're dealing with money and all these other stuff. And honestly, I kid you not, that stuff doesn't faze me. I know it's there and it's needed, but it's not the end all to be all. It's
right.
yeah, I'm not saying that we don't need money. Like I just said, I feel like I'm living like a lottery. I haven't won it. I'm winning it on a day. It's not the end. Like you wake up and you see the lottery numbers, you win instantly, and that's it. You got it. I feel like I'm having to build to that, which is God still testing me and giving me okay, you're not here yet. You're not here. You need to do those things, and so. Uh, Having that mindset enabled me to just look at life differently than the average person who, oh, if I have $100 million, I'm this, or oh, that person's a billionaire, so they got to be right in that. Like, no, I don't see things like that. Real quick, I just want to. I have a friend of mine who passed away this past summer, and
Oh,
I was able when I saw him. I know it's really sad because I saw him on a Tuesday, and he died on Thursday. But my point I'm making is that uh, all the stuff that he obtained and he wasn't able to take it with him. And some of the stuff that we put so much value on things that are pointless. Like if we could really truly, in 100 years, none of us is going to be here. And all the things that we amassed that we're like killing ourselves for is going to be given to someone else. The houses and cars and everything else will be just, so you have to look at life and you have to realize like, man, I'm up to date. Let me make the best out of it. But let me not just create this I have to be this or my life is not. No, you're like,
right.
no, just live life and enjoy it and everybody's equal. You're just if you got $1 billion, are you homeless? God loves you the same. So That's the way I view things. So that's
He
so
must.
when I have that mindset, that's why I don't. I look at people like I know we're living in a world right now where everybody's like so geared towards money, thinking that oh, like because if you have a lot of money, you're a great person. No, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So yeah, it's just go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're making excellent points. And my guests have said the same thing on my platform before. And you talk about money. One of my guests who I had on, and I will always love that interview, Terry T. Miles, who I've interviewed, and he said, "You, a lot of people want to be rich,
Yes.
Want to have a lot of money, but the best kind of richness is being rich in
Spirit.
spirit,
Yes.
being rich in great health,
Yes.
being rich in knowledge.
Yes.
Those are the things that we need to be rich in. It's okay if you want to work, if you want to build yourself up
Correct.
financially, to be stable of what you want to do with your next career and everything. And that brings me to my next question for you, which is what's the most sacred thing about
About me,
you? Mm-hmm.
sacred, like something I hold dear to my heart.
Yes.
I would say people, not just my family members, just people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really a different person. Like I know it might not seem as such, but I just feel like as if like people are sacred. People should be loved. So I try to love everybody. I want everybody to be happy. Even in my darkest times, I was happy. I would wake up and I was never like sometimes I see people riding around with some of the nicest cars, or I would be on set with some of the richest people, and it's everybody would be like upset and mad, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, so people, I feel like it's people are dear to my heart and sacred, especially my family members. My daughter, I have two boys, so yeah, stuff like that. So I would say people. Those things are sacred to me. You know, I really stay to myself for the most part, but when I interact with a lot of people, I try to make the best out of every situation. So yeah.
If you could ask God one question and receive a direct answer, what would it be?
If I can ask God one question, uh, uh what's the meaning of life?
Mm.
But not in the sense that, because everybody life is different. Circumstances cause everybody life to be different. There are people who are born with birth defect. There are people who are born with silver spoons. There are people who are born in situations like they're so I, I guess it could be that it would be yeah I guess it would be that I don't know if that would be the how you would answer that back to me. Uh, but yeah, I, I, I'm guessing that would be the most vague way to ask God. Like, hey, what is that one question? I wouldn't like, oh, like God, why do people have this, and I wouldn't know. So,
If you could adapt another perspective about life, since we're talking about life, what would it be? If you could adapt another perspective.
uh, adapt another perspective. In what sense? Like, what do you mean? Like how can I look at things? Like, how can I look at life differently?
Yes, yes,
Uh, you mean like if I was in the shoes of someone else?
yes, yes,
Okay. Uh, I will say this: as humans, we're all not capable of dealing with situations like others are.
yes,
Like, so for instance, someone who has gone through trials and tribulations like myself will probably not be able to to have the mental fortitude to get through it like I was. So I would guess that if I was in their shoes, I know it's hard for me to switch that off and think like that, but I could sympathize with them. I could sympathize with people who perhaps maybe what don't see everything as rose-colored glasses like I do. Like they don't see that. I had I've had I've known of situations where I hate to say this, but I'm gonna just share the story with you real quick. I had a family member, one of my dad's family members, who had a real bad breakup when he was 16 years old, and he never got over it. He never got over it till he was like, to his whole life, he spent drinking and never got over that. So now, to the average person, they're gonna be like, "That's crazy. Like that makes no sense."
Right.
But not everybody is able to get through certain situations like others. So uh yeah, I can sympathize with people who are not able to, like, comprehend and I've actually been trying to like do some research on this. I believe that the human brain in development from like their teenagers years to like 25 is very crucial. As much as we don't think it is extremely crucial because it could actually ch- uh, change your trajectory in life of where you're actually gonna go. Uh, Things happen to people when they're younger; they never get over. Uh, People
Trauma.
trauma, yeah. People go through situations in school and still want to get back at the bully. And I've had situations like that where there's people who have done things. I was like, okay, all right, like Lou, like, so yeah, I think you can kind of sympathize with them because we're all human. We all have emotions. We all have these feelings that, at one given time, everything's fine right now. I'm interviewing with you, but if somebody dumps some water on me, I'm like, well, so we all have all this emotions going on. So yeah, it could be a roller coaster. So y'all can sympathize with them. Now, if you carry that on and continue,
Yeah.
that's gonna be the problem.
And JL White Productions, hey girl, I need to be better at handling financial stress. Listen, when it comes to stress, my mother would always tell me this because I would worry, 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 worry. You will worry yourself to death. And even as it pertains to finances, you're sitting in, you're calculating and totaling up your bills for the month, taxes, whatever it may be, whatever that problem is, that's just that temporary problem, and it can
Right,
easily be because that by paying the bill and getting it done, you're just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But God will make a way
right,
for it to all come to fruition.
right,
So we can't let these type of things hinder us and keep us back and stress us out. Because trust me, I get stressed out too. I have anxiety. And it sometimes feels like the walls are closing in on me
right.
with everything that's going on because I see the climate
Yes,
that we're in. It's just a lot, but you got to find yourself an escape, and that's how I stay so centered and so at peace, and I come on every day happy because I try not to let it bother me. I know at the end of the day that it is going to be all right.
right,
So you have anxiety too? So that feeling for anybody who suffers with anxiety or any type of depression or sadness or whatever it may be, it might seem like a dark cloud hanging over your head or the walls are closing in on
right.
you. But trust me, God sees everything, He hears it, and
Correct.
He will make it come to fruition. So that bill will be paid. So you're seeing a lot of people now say, this year, this is my year for financial blessings. We are not claiming any brokenness over here.
Right.
We are going to work hard toward our goals. It is going to happen. My bank account will be stacked. So you got to keep saying these affirmations to yourself every morning.
But
And I
remember,
know for me, yeah. Go
but
ahead. I'm
remember,
sorry.
no, I just wanted to tie into that because remember, I told you on the flip side of that, when I'm on these sets and I'm around these people with bill, okay, there's times I talk to people and they perhaps tell me, "Oh, I got a new house or I got a new car," and I'm like, "Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. I'm happy for them." But there's a flip side to, like, I've seen uh, a camera. We use this particular camera. Sometimes it's like there's an IMAX camera. There's another camera. These are like $1 million cameras, $500,000 cameras. So I see cameras that cost as much as people homes. I've seen when we did Lawman Bass Reeves, I know for a fact they were probably going through $50,000, $60,000 a week in food. So so when I see that, I'm like, wow, so uh also with that large dollar amount can come a lot of other things in your life. Like you can get your bills paid and you can also become super rich, but then you also have other issues. The true blessing is, yes, you're gonna have bills, even rich, but if you're healthy, you're healthy, you're able to wake up in the day, you don't have no health
Yeah,
issues, you're good. You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. You're a trillionaire if you have someone that love you and you have all these great things going on in life. All that other stuff is going to be, you're gonna get that. Bills. Half of the bills that we have, honestly, and I'm guilty. Half of the bills we have, we created ourselves. Some of the stuff we don't need, we just feel like we need it.
or
So
we want them,
we
and
want it.
I've heard people say that before as well too, where they say,
Hold
um,
on, just a second.
"I
Let
want
me make
something."
sure my phone doesn't. Just a second. Sorry.
No, take your time. While Demetrius is making sure that his phone and everything is all right.
Yeah, I don't want
Someone
to.
said this: when we go into a store, we ask ourselves this question. These questions: do I want this, or do I actually need this? Is this going to be tangible to me whenever you pick up an item? Like me, I could go in the store and shop today and see something that I want, but do I necessarily want it? Or do I just have to have it because I want it? So I mean, it's those type of questions that we have to ask ourselves.
Correct.
And there's a big difference between the want and the need.
Correct.
Something that you actually need. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, those are the
I
things that we
love
have
when
to start to uh, charge my phone.
I've
Sorry
never
about.
stopped going to
Yeah,
stores
there you go.
because
Okay, there we
I
go.
stopped going to the stores because I struggle with wants. I love your look, Miss Stevie. Thank you. You guys like the highlights? Thank y'all so much. I always I don't know what color it's gonna be tomorrow. So you have to stay tuned, but thank you. Thank you. Um and that's, you know what, that is JL White. That is curving temptation. Because when we go into a store, we're going to be tempted to want something. And it's like, do I really need it? Do I really want this? I'm going to use this as an example. Um, do I really want this television, this 32-inch television that I can hang on the wall or sit on a shelf? Do I really want it, or do I need it? So the question is, do I want it?
Yeah,
What is what is it going to do for it? You know what I'm saying? What is the
yeah,
need for the television?
correct. So again, we create a lot of the issues we all have as humans. We create them ourselves. So if you really want to, if you really want to put in perspective, like we get lots of red flags. There's times when we shouldn't, again, you're like, oh, I need this or I need that, and we create these bills and create this situation like, oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
so it's almost like I remember getting out of high school, and I was like, all right, I did it, I did it, I did it, and then I'm like, okay, what's next? So you go to college, you're like, man, when I get out of college, I'm gonna do this. You get out of college, you're like, okay, what's next? And you're like, okay, I need a house. Okay, you get a house. You say, oh, that's too small. I need a bigger one. You get a bigger house. Oh no, so it's like it's almost like you're like a rat on a conveyor belt, like you're just chasing the cheese, like in a rat race. You have to stop for a moment. You have to pull back, and you say, okay, again, do I need these things? Are they going to really benefit me in life? And so, if you actually pull back some time, and look, I could like I was someone was giving me, I think my daughter the other day, she was telling me about my car. I have a old school little Lexus, and then she was like, "Oh, you need to get another car." I said, "Y'all can get one, but for what? Like, I'm when I go film, like my car is always gone, like it's always in the way in the bushes somewhere or whatever have you. So
right.
I'm not gonna like no, like just to say what I have a new car. Like God's gonna bless me where I feel as if when it happens, there won't be a struggle attached to it.
Absolutely, and it'll all fall in line together. So we have
Right.
to ask ourselves these questions when we go into a store. Do we want this, or do we need this?
Correct.
Another example, I could say, okay, Rihanna, I'm a makeup lover. Rihanna just dropped a new eyeshadow palette. Do I want this or do I need this? No, I can wait. I don't necessarily need it. I have a bunch of
Right.
other things that I can use, but I don't necessarily need
Right.
it. I want it, but I don't need it. It's not going to bring me tangibility. So you have to take all of those things into consideration too. So
And
we
blessings
want it
to
because the
and
video
and and
is
and,
coming
and
out. Right.
and also just blessings to your platform. I think it's fantastic. I see on your stories you have all these different people. Like I think it's great. Blessings. Anybody that's moving forward in a positive direction, whether it be big steps or small steps, it's still steps going in the right direction. So yeah, blessings. Thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to let you know that.
And thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, and I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing people's stories. I love just in general having great conversations like this because this can help people. This is a great platform. Thank you, JL White Productions. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I wanted you guys to have an escape from everything that's going on
Right.
and just have a platform where you talk
'Cause-
and just get it out how you feel. Ask yourself questions, reevaluate things, and more importantly, reflect. Because trust me, when I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I have my conversation with God, and then I jump straight into my affirmations.
yes.
And one of the affirmations that I say to myself is, I am invincible. Another one I say is, I am divine. Because you are God's divine being. He put you here for a reason. We all have a purpose. And so I got a message from someone not too long ago saying, thank you for what you do on your platform. And it's just like, I'm not really doing anything but just allowing people to tell their stories and help people and save lives. You have an affirmation book. Some people even go as far as is an actor, and he's coming back on my show sometime next month.
Okay.
Rico King. If you follow Rico King, you know that he writes down affirmations and things. He has like a board with all of these sticky notes, very colorful, and it's an affirmation every single day.
Okay.
So please go and follow him. He's coming on the show sometime next month, February.
Okay.
So
Rico King.
yes, his name is Rico King,
Okay.
and he does a lot of commercial and print also as well too. And
Okay,
that's his
cool.
name. Yes,
Okay, cool. I have to do that. But yeah, thank
and
you
he
for like I said. I know it's not over you. I just want to. I didn't say that initially to start the conversation off with you. So
I know exactly what you meant. Thank you. Thank you for coming on because we both think alike. And we have these thoughts as people watching, the viewers at home that are watching. We have these thoughts of, okay, what do I want to be next in my life? And I know right now in this climate in 2025, 2025 truly opened our eyes to make us think like, okay, could this be the end? Is this something else emerging? We have all of these thoughts. We have all of these
I will
things. And
say
another
this.
thing is, go ahead,
I,
I'm sorry.
I will say this. It is the beginning of the end. I
But
you can you can see it. You can see it for whatever it is. I just say it's the beginning of something. Because normalcy, this is you could clearly see there's everything shifting. So take it for what it's worth, but it's definitely a change in the air.
and I'm also gonna say this as well too. Find joy. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I come on every day and I'm happy. Hi, fashion dolls. That's the first thing I say. And if you watch every interview that I've done, that's the first thing I say. I greet you guys, my audience. Just show me so much love. Hi, fashion dolls. Welcome to the dollhouse. I greet my guests the same way, and it's because I want you to feel welcomed. I am greeting you. The door is open. Come on in. Get you a drink. The drinks are there. Get you some food. You're welcome here. This is a safe
Can I
space.
share something with you?
Find. Go
I
ahead. I'm sorry.
just want to say something that I've noticed. I think we're in a climate right now because of kind of what we touched on earlier. A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of situations that we're in as humans right now are self-created, and thus it's like we're all searching. and wanting and needing and hoping that something or somebody can get us through our situation that we actually created ourselves. You like, it's almost like we're trying to have somebody like, oh, we like, like, and I think it's what is causing is people to lose their humanity, and they're losing they're losing their way, because you're seeing this cycle of like for instance, this past Christmas, more people spent more money in this past Christmas than like any other Christmas before. But everybody's complaining about being broke and not having, and the price of eggs. I mean, you can't do this and expect this, and then be mad at everybody because you don't have this and don't have that. So I think that's what's kind of causing this big rift right now in the world we're living in. What greed and jealousy is like, just literally tearing at people. And I don't think people truly understand how significant and how much damage it's doing. Yeah. And I'm not trying to get preachy right now, but I'm seeing that is actually occurring, because you can clearly see where people say slogans about America, and then there's people that live in other countries that don't have clean water in their toilets. Like, they don't have toilets. They got to use the restroom outside. In America, we have clean water in our toilets. You go to other third world countries, they don't even have that. They would look at us like, what are you trying to make great? You have running water, you have food, you have all these, but because we've been wanting more and more and more, it's like we can't just settle for a one-story house. We have to have a two-story house. We have to have a three-car garage now. We have to have the brand new this, the brand new that. So it's like you're gonna always be like I said, like a rodent on a conveyor, like on a hamster wheel. Like, you're gonna be chasing, and you're never going. So then you start, well, this person can help me, or this person can help us, or this person, and you're losing your way. When you woke up this morning and you're blessed to be up, regardless of how much you have, you're blessed. And I think we kind of lost that, and that's what's causing all these issues and this anger and this hatred, and everybody's just like fighting at each other, and like they don't comprehend, like, you didn't have to wake up this morning. Like, if they really put in perspective and stop for a moment and said to themselves, like, wow, I'm here today. Like, they didn't have to. The situation, there are people right now that, didn't make it. So if they could actually stop, but we're losing that. We're losing all these different things, still wanting more and more and more. And that's how the devil sets in, and he starts to ruin people. So then you start hating, oh, it's this person's fault because they're this, or these people over here, they're the reason why, or they're taking the jobs, and and it's all a big game. It's all a play. It's like, you just have to stop, look at the man in the mirror, and say to yourself, okay, thank you, I'm good for the day. You know what? Maybe I don't need 8 houses. Maybe I don't need 20 cars. You know what I mean? Like, like, there's that. Some of the people in the Bible were the same way. Like the more greed, like, people don't understand, greed it's a sin. It can destroy you, and it destroyed many people. So sorry, I just went on a tangent. But yeah, but that was just something I'm just noticing, because I see people so angry and mad. They're like, oh, it's these people's fault. It's this people's fault. It's this people. No, it's your fault. It's your fault. And no one's doing you anything. You're doing it to yourself. And the quicker you realize that, nobody is going to help you out of your situation. No. You complain about, oh, the price of eggs are high. Yeah, but did you need to spend $8,000 for Christmas? You got, oh, you can't tell me what to do with my money. Well, you can't have it all. That's not how. we've gotten so spoiled as a nation and a society to
Mhm.
where we want everything and then some. We want what we have and we want what you have.
And the audience is seconding with that what you just said. Chrissy says we take the simple things for granted, and JL White Production says just give me a simple life. I'm the same kind of way too, and a lot of people see fashion. That's the first thing they see, but I'm a very simple, down to earth person. Like I don't ask for
Right.
much. I mean, the things that matter to me, the simple things that matter to me in life is being able to be here to do this platform, be a mouthpiece that God
Right.
wanted me to be, to
Right.
help
Right.
people,
Right.
to educate people, to keep people informed, to bring joy, to spread joy. Those are the things that we should be playing. Yes, you, the things that we want to buy will be there, yes, but it can't put a price on happiness. The
No.
happiness is
And
within you. So first thing,
everybody's everybody's so unhappy. That's I'm every I've actually I've actually just gone in the store, just random, just you walk in the door and like the person who's like ringing you up, they're pissed, they're mad, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like you have a job, you're in air condition. You know there's homeless people outside. It's snowing, it's cold. You have a job. They might not be paying you a lot, but you have some. People want to get from zero to $100 million without doing any work. I could have gave up on when I went through my trials and tribulations. It was like a almost a 10-year period where I was like, man, I don't know where I'm going, but God has gotten me in the right direction. I could have stopped at year one, like, nah, I'm just gonna do this because it's taking too long, or year two, or year three, year four. Like everybody just so unhappy, not understanding that you're truly blessed if you are doing the bare minimum of anything and you have some sort of purpose in life. But we've all been brainwashed again. Social media, as powerful as it is in a positive direction, in a positive way, it can also be very negative. And we look at all the different things that people post on social media. It's a highlight reel. It's a highlight reel. And when you take a when I take a I'm a, when I take a selfie, I take it takes 10 selfies before you get the decent one. Your, your pictures and all that. It's a highlight reel. And and jealousy and envy and greed will like subside, but I don't think we're ever gonna go back. So
JL White Productions. My purpose is to empower, encourage, and educate the world through these challenging times we are living in. Absolutely. And not only that, but staying sane and finding joy. We have to find joy. I know everybody's worried. We're up in arms. It's a lot going
right,
on, but you still have to remain sane. And how keeping your sanity is through finding joy. And it can be just through the little things, taking a walk. And I said this last week on the show, taking a walk in the park, um, going and spending time with our elders, our grandmother. My grandmother's 80 years old, and she has the spirit of a 20-year-old. And
that's
I'm
good.
blessed to have her here and kicking, and she's opinionated the same way I'm opinionated. Now I see where my mother gets it from.
Right,
So, I mean, those little things that we should be doing, forming community, organizing, mobilizing, supporting and pouring into each other, and making sure that we are taking care for ourselves as well too. A lot of people have gotten into journaling. That is a joyful thing because when you're writing, you're putting it on paper. Um, Music, recording, find something that brings you happiness. Art brings you joy because you go through different
right,
moods, different emotions, and you're just
right,
like, okay, what painting do I want to create that shows the type of emotion that I feel today? For me, it's fashion. Fashion is my escape, looking at different textures, looking at different patterns, looking at different structures. looking at different colors, and just the diversity in all of it together. That's what brings me joy. Color also has been proven to enhance our moods. So when you look at something, that's why I asked Demetrius that question earlier. What color was his mood today? And he said blue. He thought of the sky. Me, I thought silver. You guys know why? I love the disco ball. I love silver. Silver does something to me. It brings me happiness. I could have said yellow. Yellow is another color that brings us joy because of the sunshine. When the sun is out, it's
Yes,
beautiful.
it
So
is.
color and yeah, the simple things. Cherish them.
I was always told the best things in life are free. The
Mm,
air we breathe, the sun we take in, like all the things that we take for granted, like the things we don't even really look at and think they're even valuable to us, are the most important things. I just think we're losing our way. Like we're losing. I'm not trying to be Gandhi right now and just like, but I am. But I believe that something is off, and it is causing a lot of issues in the world we're in tonight. Everybody's warring with each other. Everybody's upset. Everybody's mad. Everybody doesn't like this person or doesn't like that person. For what reason? I don't know. I I don't know if we can go back to that, but you remember you told me, you said we were talking about not everybody's able to get through a situation like you're able to get through.
yeah,
So I think that actually entails when a lot of people are not able to comprehend that the best things in life are free. If they don't get a brand new this or brand new that, then they don't feel, like their day or they've done anything significant. And so that's what's causing this. I mean, the world has always been like that, but now it's just with social media, it's just prevalent. It's in your face. It's just again, I go places and I can't believe. Real quick, Friday night, I was going home and I said I'm gonna stop at Popeyes and get some chicken. There's a young lady that works there, and she's very, very, very nice every time I go there.
yeah.
So she's really nice, real cordial. Um, and so by me praising her, there was two other guys in the back that were angry at the fact that I was giving this girl a praise. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are we in competition at Popeyes? Like, I mean, have we gotten that bad? Like, she's a young lady. Like, just say, oh, you're right, dude. Like, yeah, she's a good girl. She does everything. They got mad at the fact that I was like acknowledging her greatness on her job, and I guess I didn't do it to them when I don't know them. I haven't seen them, but you could see if they were visibly upset. If we've gotten this bad off on just giving somebody compliments, I can imagine if somebody gets a new car, new truck, new house, new whatever. Like, oh, it's just I don't know. It's just a lot to take in.
And you know what that is? That's jealousy. Because
Yes,
I
that's
did the
why I said
same
jealousy and
thing. I
greed.
did the I did the same exact thing in the store. They are weird for that. Okay, come through with the face card, Miss Stevie. Thank you, girl. You know, Melanie, she always gets me right. That every episode you're gonna see Glam. You are going to see Glam. So a very special thank you to Melanie. But I did the same thing to another young lady in the store. And she was ringing up, we went in there to go pick up some things for the house. And the other young lady got upset that I didn't compliment her hair because she had braids and it was beautiful colored
Right, right,
braids.
right.
I said, "Oh my God, I love your hair." And so the other young lady got upset and took it out on my mom. My mom was standing right next to me. So my mom handed her the card and we had to go through another line and get the whole thing rung back up all over again because she messed something up because she was in her feelings. And my mom clocked it. So it just goes to show you that people do things out of spite, out of jealousy.
But
It's just
but look
evil.
how minute that was. That's what I'm saying. This is why we're living in scary times. And something's off because there would be
Yeah.
no way possible that I would be ringing someone up and I would be that bothered by not getting a compliment as well as social media has done positive things, it's also ruined people's self-esteem and caused like, oh, if I don't like, no one's acknowledging me. No, like I didn't grow up like that. Matter of fact, I will tie this into uh when I was growing up, I didn't even know I was what they would say people say attractive. I didn't even know what that was. I had no clue. I didn't start kind of realizing something's off when I went to TSU. Prior to that, at the high school I was at, I didn't know, like, it's some of the things like you don't know, like you never been exposed to anything, you don't know anything. It's kind of like so. So I never went around, but then again, I didn't have social media back then. But I never went around meeting people to praise me and be like, "Oh, you're like, oh, you don't have like, I could care less." I mean, you praise me, you don't, whatever. I keep it moving. If you never like anything, I don't care. Like that's just how I operate. I can, I will say this, and I just want to get this off my chest. Nobody in my like people in my immediate family, they don't even watch the movies I'm in.
And that was going to be one of the questions that I
No.
asked. Like, does family watch your work? And that's
Uh
heartbreaking.
it's it comes like I didn't like I said, that's why I said there's levels of situations that you have to deal with. No, they don't. They don't. Uh they might call and kind of like ask questions to kind of see, but that's as far as it goes. Like no, like they don't watch it. Nobody that truly like nobody actually. Uh, maybe nobody in my immediate family just actually no. But I'm okay with that. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me. At one time I did because I was like, wow, like you know what, like I'm doing this and I'm still not getting any accolades. But I had to realize that I didn't need it from them. I've got it from God, so I'm good.
Yes. And to touch on that, JLW and Sunshine just said something in the comments that really is 100% accurate, and that is self-esteem is our biggest problem with the youth. And I've had these type of conversations. One of my girlfriends, shout outs to Steph. I mean, I've known Sunshine. Sunshine is also one of my girlfriends as well. Too. I've known these women for a very long time, and we've had conversations like this where we talk about um, the youth and how, as you've mentioned, social media, this day and age where it's all about what is the word that I'm looking for? Where it is all about, well, I'll just use this one as an example. Working in the fashion world for me is all about vanity. It's about beauty. It's about aesthetic. It is about being appeasing to the eye. Whereas before, we our time or our parents' time growing up, there was none of that. So if you got the compliment, it would be from God or either your mom. The ones that matter the most is your mother, your dad, them being proud of you
Yeah.
and supporting you 100%. And that's where it comes into approval. But the self-esteem issue for kids is where they start picking themselves apart. They look in the mirror and they pick themselves apart and figure, hey, I need to change this about myself. I need to change this about myself. And I was one of those kids. I was teased throughout my high school years, all the way up until grade school.
Wow.
And I've ran into some of my bullies. And they watched the platform, luckily. They're not in a better position than I am,
Right.
but I'm not gonna sit there and rub it in their faces because see, karma comes back times two. My thing is God bless you. They'll see me out, they'll hug me, they'll, good job, love what you're doing. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it 100%. But I've learned that also there's the peer pressure. It does things to you. Looking in the mirror, I wanted to change things about
Correct.
myself, appearance wise. I said, okay, I don't like my nose. I don't like my lips. I want to cut it all off. I want to go and get surgery. But people were saying, no, don't change anything about yourself. You're beautiful. Your face is beautiful. You and your mother, always go to your mother. Always go to your elders because they can give you
Right.
that reassurance. We're
Right.
not too grown to go to our elders because our great grandmothers and their great grandmothers, the ancestors, the elders, they know. they
I will
know and
say
they will
this,
keep you in touch.
not
Yeah.
to cut you off, but I will say this: never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with.
Mm, absolutely.
So it's very, very difficult for people to tell me anything when I look at their situation. Like anytime someone's like giving me some advice or anything from their perspective,
Yeah.
I have to look at that person and say to myself, like, wow, like, okay, it's not being arrogant or conceited. It's just a situation where you just think to yourself, there was a while back, I had a friend of mine. I think he made a comment that I needed to do this, that, and the third when dealing with girls or dealing with, and I was like, wow, you're the wrong person to give advice to. You're in a situation that is just so toxic and crazy. It makes no sense. But again, misery loves company. They would like to give you that advice in order to get. So a lot of times when people go around teasing or having issues or bullying people all the time, you even see that on television now. Like people are always talking about each other. A lot of times, people have inner issues within themselves and they're
Yeah.
projecting it onto others. Like the way you look and the way you operate has nothing to do with me. I don't care. Like, and I think if more people understood that, then we, again, that's why I said, that's why we're in a world right now where everybody's like wanting to be other than what they are, which is mind-boggling because God didn't make any mistakes. He created you. So that being said, the quicker you understand that, the better off you'll be as a person. But what's happening, we're seeing everything on social media. We're seeing this. We're seeing this. We're seeing this. And then we're like getting brainwashed. Oh, and then we're bullying other people. Oh, you this or I'm this or you're this or you're that. And I'm like, we need to pull back for a second and chill. But I hope the train is still has a little ways before it just jumps the track because we're headed in the wrong direction fast.
What about your first visit to a horse ranch? You're going to just ignore the rancher and pick a horse and climb on exactly. That's true. Why should you take advice from someone that is worse off than them? And right. And I've realized that. I've come to realize that. In my younger years, I would always pick certain things. We would always pick up or pick ourselves apart in general. We
Yes.
would pick ourselves apart because somebody else has broken our self-esteem down so low to the point where it's just like, why am I not good enough? And we start asking ourselves these questions like, why, what is it about me? What don't I like about myself? And you start believing it after a while.
Yes.
So I've had to deprogram myself to not believe these things about myself. Your nose is perfect. Your thing, everything about you, you are God's creation. God, as Demetrius just said, God made no mistake.
Well, let's put it like this. What is perfect? What is perfect, period, when it comes to aesthetics? Like it's something someone made up
Right.
and said that this is perfect and this is perfect and that is perfect. It's something that someone made up in order for them to put themselves above you. The person who actually sits up and writes the rule book is saying, okay, this look and this look is actually the top of the pecking order when it comes to looks.
Right.
This look and this look is at the bottom. You're writing a book. So of course you're going to put yourself higher. So once you start to realize that and comprehend that, you start to realize, hey man, it's it's all subjective and it's all perspective. Different regions of the planet, everybody looks different. There are parts of the world that people that have more whatever features are looked upon as being beautiful in those parts of the world compared to over here in the United States. So it's all
Yeah.
perspective. But what happened is that we're in a culture where you've been brainwashed, and to think that okay, the person who's writing the rule book is saying this, that, so we have to adhere to this, that, and I'm guilty of it myself. So these are just things we're all work in progress, and we have to just, when we're doing too much, we have to pull back and say to ourselves, okay, remember, the person who's actually giving the advice of what beauty is might not be beautiful at all. You know, it's all subjective. So
I've met a man who has been a millionaire and has been homeless. His advice, high or low, I would want, right? Just, and it goes back to what I just said, which is just as fast as you gain it in an instant, you can lose it.
yes,
And it's those simple things that matter. So all the other stuff, the aesthetic, all of these things, they shouldn't matter because it
but
is currency. And girl, you are gorgeous. Thank you, Noli.
we put
Thank
so much we put so much emphasis on things that truly doesn't, like, it doesn't. I've actually sat up. I will say this. I've scrolled through TikTok, and I will go through 100 videos of somebody talking about other people. Just
you. Mm-hmm.
always talking about the way someone looks. I'm just like, you stopped what you're doing and made a video of another human being and how they look physically in order to make yourself feel better. You have to think about this. Like right now, we're doing this live, right? This is pretty easy, but you have to. I don't know, when I'm on TikTok, I normally just post a picture and put some music, and I don't make videos, but they've made videos trying to talk about. You have to really say to yourself, like that. That says a lot about you as a person. Like I used to tell my mom this, because my mom, old school, little Louisiana woman. She's really nosy. She wants to know everybody's business. And, you know, just one of those. And I used to tell her all the time, it's like, man, if you channel that same energy into wanting to know everybody's business, if you channeled it into something that you could take over the planet. That same person who's worried about the way someone else looks on TikTok, if they took that video and said, okay, I'm getting ready to do this with it in a positive way in something in my life, they could take over the planet. But we can't do that. That's why I said not everybody's able to take a situation and turn it into something positive. Like they just keep with the negative and on and on and on, and the trauma and the pain and the
Oh, yeah.
hurt. And so,
And
which is
that's
leading to
cycle.
2025 and all of us being like, everybody's like mad at each other.
My grandma's hen parties were wild, lol. Gossip hound for sure. I mean, but hey, we all do it. We all do it. We all want to catch up with our friends and stuff. But it's a difference where we tear each other down.
Right.
And as Noli just said, that is ugly at its root, where people are making videos making fun about somebody because you have broken that person down so low to the point where they go and they look in that mirror and they start picking themselves apart. I
Right.
remember I
You
got
got
to
it.
a point where I couldn't even watch my own interviews. I would pick my own self apart or critique myself harshly, like you're beating
Yes.
yourself up. And once
Don't do
you
that.
do that, because other people would do it to you, it makes you feel bad in the end result.
Don't do
Now
that.
I've gotten to a point where I can watch my own
Right.
work and not critique myself.
Yeah, because again, you'll drive yourself crazy trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I I got my daughter the other day. She was telling me the kids at school was bullying her and calling her names, and I said,
Oh,
Aubrey, I had to tell her, I said, Aubrey, I really want you to think about what I'm about to tell you, because I was driving her back home. She lives on the north side of Houston, way like 99, so it takes about an hour to drive her home. But I said, I want you to look at yourself and really, all the things that they were saying about you, do you think there's any truth to that? She was like, no. I was like, well, there you have it. Like, there's like everything they were saying was like made up, but they were saying it in order to get up under your skin. You have to have skin like a rhinoceros in this world. You have to have thick skin in order to deal with the stuff that people are going to throw at you, even with little kids. So I said, you just have to, if they were saying something that had some legitimate, then I can see it. But they're the names they were calling you and the things they were saying to you, I said they have no merit. They're just little kids just running their mouth. Like, they don't know no better. And that's what they're being taught at home. And I'm going to teach you that whatever they're saying to you, it has not a leg to stand on. Like, just don't pay no attention to them. Just, just leave it at that. I said they probably the little boys like you, and they don't know how to. They like you, and they don't know how to tell you. So when a girl likes you, they hit you, or a boy like you, same difference. So she's in the 5th grade now, so I kind of told her that's probably what's going on. And I've seen a lot of people, especially pretty girls. I've seen this. I've seen girls who are really gorgeous get their self-esteem broken down so much, so where the guy or whomever, like, he will like mentally abuse them to the point where they don't think they're nothing, and then he puts himself above them, and he looks crazy. I'm like, so I told my daughter, I said, no, we're not gonna do this. They're not gonna break your self-esteem down to where you're like, the guy is told you you're nothing, you're this, and then he's like shaped like a bell pepper, and then you're gonna start like loving him. Like, no, we're not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that at all. So yeah, we're gonna keep this even playing field. You're gonna know your worth. Yeah, we're not gonna do that craziness.
And you were just about to say what I was about to say. My eyes lit up like that because that's what they would do that's what we would do when we were younger, when we would try to get somebody's attention or let them know that we liked them. At a young age, we would tease them on the as Noli said in the comments, pulling pigtails, or they'll hit you. They'll come up and they'll do little things in preschool. But then where you take it to the point where you start putting yourself above the other person to make them feel low and make you feel high, that's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. It's actually trickled into like everyday society. I turn it on Entertainment Tonight, or I'll turn it on CNN, or the politics. Everybody's talking about. I say, God, where are the adults? Where are the like, everybody's talking about how somebody looks and how this and that, whatever. And I'm like, a lot of the people that are giving a message or talking about other people shouldn't be saying it at all. They should be quiet. But you know what? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I just like, sometimes I'm like, but people are listening to the person who's being the bully. People are listening to them instead of stopping for a moment. It's like, hey, you don't have a place to talk. I think you need to stop. But so it's just like a weird, like, it's just, I don't know, weird. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left, bad is good, good is bad. And that's where we're going now. Everything's shifting. So to tie into what we were saying earlier, I don't know where we're heading, but it's the beginning of something.
It's darkness. We're headed into darkness, and I said this not too long ago. It's darkness and danger that is coming. But trust me, through all of the chaos, Rihanna has a quote that says like this: "Don't focus on the turmoil. Focus on getting through to the finish line."
Right.
Because see, God can take us through to that finish line. There is only one person that sits above, and it's God, and He has to say so.
That's
and
why
my mother, she would always tell me that. She said, "There is no king, no emperor, nothing, no big dark entity that can take the place of Him who sits up high."
That's why when I was going through my phase of all the stuff that happened to me, I didn't just say to myself, you know what, I'm going to turn into this cruel person, or I'm going to start hating these people because of this or this, that. I just knew deep down inside there's something at the end of the tunnel. There's something that's going to come from this. So if this is the cross I have to bear right now, then so be it. I'm still not at the end of the tunnel, but I can't see light. And I know that there's, the reason why I say I know I see light is because some of the issues I'm having with, just like I said, the hatred that's coming now with, and I used to say to myself, like, wow, I wouldn't have been doing movies or any kind of television if everybody had mind their business. I probably would have still been married with kids and living my life. But because people had to put their 2 cents in and destroy people's family, you kind of created this. So this was, like I not to touch on what happened in my darkness in my past, but things happened to where it kind of led me to where I'm at now. So you kind of created this person who I am today. So for that, thank you. But don't be mad and angry. Be happy for the person. Be happy that I didn't blow my brains out. Be happy that I didn't, get on drugs. Be happy that I didn't do nothing stupid. Be happy that I stayed focused. And I'm kind of like I said, God bless me, and I can actually channel this into some positive to bless others later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the audience is engaged in the conversation. They are agreeing firsthand. And I know a lot of viewers, once this is up and posted before we wrap, I want you all to take away from this conversation, to take away from this interview, where it seems like it's darkness, where it's hopelessness, where it's despair. That's what the devil wants you to feel. And my mother, I talk about her a lot because me and her talk a lot. Um, Even my friends outside of the show, Sunshine, everybody, we talk outside of this platform. And they know me. They know when I sense or feel something is going to get better. We have to have that
Yes.
little bit of optimism and that joy. So what might seem like darkness and despair now, the next morning when you wake up, you'll feel something completely
And see
different.
that
And
blue
I think,
sky, it changes everything.
yes,
It changes everything. You got to give it time. That's why I said you can't react on emotion, because at the time with emotions, you'll go crazy. You'll do somebody will cut you off in traffic, and you'll pull out a gun and shoot them. You're dealing with emotion. Now you threw your whole life away for a traffic situation. You have to stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and realize that life is a marathon, not a sprint. They're going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys. You have to stop for a moment and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel in your darkest moment. If you're able to make it through that day and wake up the next day, then you build on that. And then you make it through the next day and you build on that. And we just keep it moving until we get where we need to go.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the mentality we have to have going forward.
Yes.
For a lot of us, it might seem a dark period, a dark time for us, for what's taking stage or ship or making shape in the world. But guess what? We're gonna get through it. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Because you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still alive. I woke up this morning. I did not want to get up early this morning, but it's God led me to get up. It's a ritual for me. It's a ritual. Getting up every day, talking to God and having a conversation with Him, and saying my affirmations, standing in that mirror and doing my affirmation.
Right.
Is a ritual for me.
Right.
So that's how I stay so centered. Yes, I'm seeing everything that's going on, but you have to stay centered and protect your peace. What you intake will definitely show on the outside.
Correct.
And it will affect your health as well too.
Yes, and people don't
What you don't,
understand. Yeah, they don't see that. Like, I changed my phone number a lot, and sometimes people ask me like, "Why are you changing your number?" 'Cause I can't deal with like when I start getting all kind of madness and stupidity in my ear. I don't. When people start calling me or texting me with just stuff that just makes no sense, I have to like, okay, it's too much. So I'll change my number and I'll give it to you later on when I feel as if you'd have calmed down. But I can't continue to let you disturb my peace. Like, no, whatever you got going on, whatever you're like, because there are people who wake up with an agenda every day to see if they can cause chaos. Well, I wake up, I look at the sky, I'm driving, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty. Oh, look, a bird. Like, I know that might sound goofy to a lot of people, but that's just how I operate. There are people who wake up like, man, I got a list. I'm gonna get this person and this person today. I can't wait to get this person. I'm gonna get that one. Like, they actually wake up with an agenda to cause confusion. And if I can't get these people on my list, then I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'll see somebody in the corner who I think is fat, and I'm gonna call them fat. Or I'm gonna make a comment on this guy who's Arabic. Or I'm gonna make a comment on this guy who's Asian. Or I'm gonna talk about the Latino or the black guy over there. Like they actually wake up with a hit list. Uh, I don't. I just think that you know what we were better than that as people, but that's my wishful thinking. Hopefully, this interview puts positive affirmations in the universe.
And it will. Oh, Sunshine just said, just block them. Yes, I delete, I unfollow. If it doesn't serve me purpose and I see it, I delete, I unfollow, I tune out, I mute, and I protect my peace. And
Right.
that's how I stay centered. And I come on every day happy. Hi, Fashion Dolls, because I see everything that's going on. My mother told me, see and don't see. We see the chaos. We see what this person is trying to do. We see the madness. We see the corruption. We see, like Demetrius just said, that person is going to get retribution. Anybody in general, that person is an agent of chaos. Never let that person win, because when you allow them to win, they have power. They have the say so over your life. And the person who really has to say so is God. You can't, he would say the same thing. Like, don't let this person win, because God has the last say
Right.
so.
Right. But he also gives, like I said, I had to learn this the hard way too. He gives you a lot of red flags. It's just sometimes you just don't want to. You just don't want to pay attention because of that situation. You're like, nah. I'm gonna go. He's giving you red flags of what that type of person is, and you're not listening. And then when stuff tends to turn into the situation it is, then you're like, oh man, why? You you knew the stove was hot, but you wanted to put your hand on it anyway. So
Test the waters. And we do it out of our own instinct and intuition. But those red flags are there. Those dots are there for you to connect, and he leads that path for you.
right,
So yeah.
you're right.
I hope you all took something away from this conversation before we wrap, Fashion Dolls. We are going to get into our games with Demetrius before we close out, and then we're going to get into some words of encouragement and then close out with the final thought of the day. So, the first game is the rapid five, and Demetrius has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. And then the next one is called Turn the Tables, and I do this with my guests where they get to ask me their questions, their thoughts, their feelings, whatever they want to know, life, religion, experience, motivation, fashion, beauty, whatever they want to know, in a segment I like to call Turn the Tables. All
Okay,
right. So I'm going to start off with the rapid five first. Demetrius, what are 5 things that you can't live without?
okay. 5 things I can't live without. One would be peace.
Mm, yes.
Can't live without peace. I don't do chaos at all. Once it comes, uh, love.
Yeah.
I love to love. I just like to be loved, and I love to love people. So I can't do without those. Family. Family should be first, but they tie into the first two. So, family. I love to travel. I love to travel, and I like to stay active, working out. And I'm gonna say active as in working out, jogging, training, anything with any kind of physical assertion to it. I have to do it, like some basketball, football, something. I can't just be stagnant. I can't. I I have TVs. I don't even watch them for the most part. I'm always like trying to move around and do something. So yeah, those 5 things I can't do without. So peace, love, family, traveling, and the fifth is some kind of physical assertion.
Yeah. You got to have peace. You got to protect your sanity. To everyone out here, protect your peace,
Yes.
because it is sacred. One of the questions that I asked Demetrius early is, what is sacred about you? So you guys, the Fashion Dolls, the viewers, I want you guys to find something sacred about you after watching this interview. Find something that you cherish. I know for me, I love dangly earrings, as you guys can see. I love dangly earrings. That brings me joy, watching the movement. It's fashion for me. So I
Right.
mean, find something that uplifts you. Find your why. Find your if or what could have been. Ask yourself these questions. Reflect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's time to turn the tables, and I'm going to give it to Demetrius, and Demetrius is going to ask me as many questions as he wants. So take it away.
Okay. The first one would be Where do you see your platform going in the next 2 to 5 years?
Wow. I see myself with my own network. I see myself like there's a fashion network. I would love to have something like that as well too. Two networks potentially. And of course I will continue to resume this platform. And as JLW said earlier, I want to continue to educate, to inform, to empower. Those are the three things that I want to do. So that's where I see myself
Okay.
with this platform.
Uh, so I know the platform is growing. I'm going to get the word out as much as possible to bring more viewership to your platform. So uh, when it comes to interviewing, do you like to interview? Does a lot of like, because I guess it's sometimes not everybody can be bubbly or like all like in tune with the universe, like
Yeah.
perhaps maybe we are. Sometimes people can be dull. Like, if, I hate to say this, but if my son ever became famous or on the way to becoming famous and you interviewed him, you're not going to get much out of him. So I was wondering, like, do you, he had a kind of an interview today. He was using it. I was listening to him talk to a person. I was like, it's amazing that other person was even like. But anyway, do you like to do an interview process? Do you like learning and finding out a lot of things about people? Okay.
I love it, but like you said, it's different. You're working with different personalities, and there have been some interviews where I was just like, okay, give me something. Like, oh my God, what happened before the interview? I don't know what happened, but we just chatted, and then when we do the interview, it's like they're not giving me anything. I've had that happen before, but what I've done is my mother always told me, and my grandmother, she's another one she told me to, and my aunt. They said, bring your personality, bring your charm, because that's what invites people. And I've
Mm-hmm.
always had an inviting or mysterious aura that invites people in. That just like, what is it about her? We just can't get it. Like, what
Right.
is it about her?
But always remember
That's
that.
what draws me.
So
Yeah,
remember that. So that ties back into what we were saying earlier. That's why you caught a lot of hell growing up, because the energy you were giving off as a kid or youth was the same energy you're giving off now. People can feel your chi. They can feel your energy. I remember, and I'm gonna just say that. That's why uh, a lot of things that happen, you wonder like why I was getting picked on, why they were saying this about me, why they were saying it,
right.
because that energy, that aura, and that chi, they were feeling back then. We all deal with frequency. Every human being is giving off an energy, a frequency. That's why when we're in the car, and the radio goes static, it bothers us because we all have a frequency that we give off, and so that frequency that you were giving off as a youth is also the frequency you're giving off now that actually would disrupt a lot of spirits back then, but they would try to find a way to break you down. So uh, when you
Yeah.
got that positive energy, that positive aura, that positiveness in life, you're gonna catch a lot of hell. So yeah, gonna deal with a lot of you're gonna deal with a lot of that. And the higher you go up in your platform, and I'm hoping that it continues to grow, which it will, because I'm gonna speak it. The more and the higher it goes up,
Yeah.
the stronger and the stronger the stupidity's gonna come your way. Like, and that's just something that you're gonna have to deal with and understand. Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. So just prepare yourself for it. Because
Oh,
I just say when I know as a kid growing up, and I'm gonna say this, I just have to say this. As a kid growing up, I watched a lot of television. Remember, I never thought I would be on television. I just watched it.
yeah.
But I also had people in my family that would watch, or people I would see watch, and everybody that watched television would always look at the people on television, and they're like, oh, they would watch the show, they would get interested. So I was like, okay, cool. I never thought it would happen to me, but being that it's happening, I would think that okay, I'm on my way. I would start getting the same energy as when you sat down for your whole, like, you sit down and watch TV all day long. Can't you just watch something I'm in? And when I started realizing,
Right.
oh, you don't, I said, okay, well, that's coming with the territory. I've actually told myself there's going to come a time that I'm going to be on an award show, because I never thought it was going to be, but being that it's happening now, so that's the trajectory my life is on. So I'm speaking positive affirmations. And there will be people who will sit up and say, "Oh, I didn't watch it. Oh, really? That's what happened." So that's just something I'm learning to deal with, because
Yeah.
the other day I had to tell somebody that was close to me. They kept asking me about something. I said, "Well, there's like 5 movies I'm in on Tubi right now that you can actually see me if you want to." And they just stopped talking. Like, you don't want to watch them. You don't care. So anyway, this is something that we're going to have to deal with as we continue to build this platform that we have and try to move forward in life.
And just keep growing, keep elevating, keep
Yes.
exceeding expectations.
Right. Right. It's hard. It's very difficult, but only the strong survive. And so you have to think like that. And when you have those days that you like, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to, you have to stop to yourself and say, well, you know what? If I don't, then they're winning. They're winning because they don't want you to. So I tell myself that every day. I say, if I don't do this, then all the naysayers and the doubters and the people because then they will turn around and say, "Oh man, what happened? You were making movies. Oh man, I remember you had told me
Right.
you were that. What happened to that?" They're waiting to tell you that. So we're not going to give them that ammunition in order for them to actually say it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, fashion dolls, before we close out, Demetrius, are there any gems or words of encouragement that because this interview has been a great it's not even really an interview, it's more so like a conversation to kind of make people feel good about yourselves. We want you to feel good about yourselves, and more importantly, to take something away to help you go a long way in your
I
life, in
want
your
to
career.
I want to
So,
share say something. I hope people can first and foremost, God makes no mistakes. Love yourself. If we
yes,
start loving ourselves and then take the time out to love yourself first, you'll be able to love others around you, and the world will be a better place. And a lot of the things we're dealing with, we won't have to deal with. I, I believe that wholeheartedly. I think if we stop for a moment and say, I am somebody, God doesn't make mistakes, and we channel that on a daily basis, and we look at someone else and say, you know what? Why should I pick on him today? I'm not gonna do that. For what? They didn't do me nothing. They didn't harm me. Whatever pain and agony I went through in my life, but there's been times, I kid you not, I've been wanting to throw in the face of all the people who doubted me or just did harm to me and my family. I'll say harm. They went out their way. Sometimes I got to catch myself because I'm like, oh, okay, oh wow, I want to like send, and I say, you know what? For what? Like, it's almost like I'm like, why should I even do it? Like I've already, like I'm winning. Like I'm not trying to be. I'm just like, why even give them that kind of energy? Like they're not even worth your time. You know what I mean? So yeah, we can love ourselves and learn to love others. The world will be a better place.
absolutely. And I'm going to close out today's show with the final thought from Toni Morrison. She says, if you surrender to the wind, you can ride it. And this is a quote about fear. Now, there's going to be a lot of obstacles. It's going to be a very dark period for all of us, but you're going to continue to get through it because God will see you through it.
Right,
What might seem like a trial and tribulation for you today will be better for you going forth and going forth.
right.
And you just have to remember, keep going forward, keep soaring, keep flying, because Lord knows it's going to be challenging for all of us. But if you keep going, you keep at it, and you keep surrounding yourself with people who genuinely, truly care for you. And I'm blessed and thankful to have my mom, both of my parents in my life, my family, you guys, the fashion dolls, everybody, all of you to shower me with so much love and support. When you have love surrounding you and behind you 100%, you can't go wrong. So remember that. Again, don't surrender to the wind. Keep riding that.
Now I want to say, before we go, and it's been great. Uh, I would like to plug some of the movies that's coming up. Sorry.
Yes. Go ahead. No, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, because I'm like, okay, so January 30th, the second season of Mo on Netflix comes out. So you'll catch me in episode 3 or 4, maybe 5. But I think it's 8 episodes, so it's a great cast, great energy, great show. Season 2 is the last season of Mo on Netflix. February 23rd, 1923. You'll catch me in an episode, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. I'm somewhere in it. But you'll definitely catch me in that. I'm on the train with some of the stars. So you'll see me. Again, there's a lot I can't disclose, but just and then I have another. I don't know when this movie's gonna come out. We just finished filming it in December. It's called Mrs. Missing. I play Detective Bell. It comes out. I'm guessing. I'm gonna give it about 6 months, maybe, perhaps on Tubi. I don't know. They're still editing, doing everything now. So I just want to plug it early, and you'll be seeing me post about it, and this, that, and the third. So yeah, those 3 are coming up the pipe, and yeah, I just want to plug those up and plug those and put that out there. So yeah, if you guys can catch it and look out for me.
And where can everyone follow you and keep informed with you with your projects, everything? Because I'd love to have you back on the show
Follow
again.
me on Insta. You can follow me on Instagram, Demetrius Joseph 007. You can follow you can Google, honestly, just Google my name, Demetrius Joseph. Everything comes up. Like my IMDb, my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, uh, Macy's, Amazon. Like there's a lot of different brand exposures that I've been involved with that they come up. So yeah, you just Google Demetrius Joseph and just feel free to like and follow anyone you want to.
There you have it, fashion dolls. Joining me tomorrow, we have Rich Johnson. So make sure you guys, again, continue to ride the wind, continue to soar, continue to fly. 2025 is your season. So if you have something planned, go for it. Do it now.
Blessings,
And as always, thank you.
blessings to you. Much success, and I guarantee you by the end of this year, you're gonna pop off. I'm putting it. I'm gonna put it out in the universe.
And I receive it. I receive it all. I receive it all. Thank y'all so much. And I'd love to have you back on again in the future.
Yeah, no problem. Just send me the information, and I'll let you know when I'm available, and then we can just work it and make it happen.
All right. There we go, fashion dolls. And I'll send it to you. And head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube so you can check out the full interview from beginning to end, the full conversation. You will walk away empowered, and we hope this helps. So, again, we love you. Be safe, take care, and be vigilant. Take care, everyone.
Peace, guys. God bless. Bye.
You too.
All right.